Okay, you haven't asked the question. Okay, sorry, no, and I think it's from your team.
Let's be fair. I have two things, Joe. You know, I'm Mart Smutnick from Congress.
Yeah.
And I'm just passionate about our freedoms. And if we don't have freedom, what's left? What's left? This is the nation. This is the last stand for freedom.
I know I fought 4 years for it.
Exactly, exactly, thank you. And so this applies, and this is the basis for our republic to still be here. And if we have congressmen who don't take this oath of office seriously, where are we? We are socialism, communism, tyranny, and which we're seeing. For those that are paying attention to what's going on and not watching the evening news, which will change the truth to lies, there's only a certain limited amount of types of law that you are responsible for in Congress. You've taken the oath more than once, I understand, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, to support, uphold, and
Yes.
defend our Constitution. How many laws are you entitled per the Constitution to uphold? Per the Constitution, how many, can you tell me what you know about the Constitution and what types of law you are or aren't entitled to make law about? For example, the Affordable Care Act, which you were angry at me for saying that it was called Obamacare, but most people in the room don't know really probably the name Affordable Care Act as much as you know the name Obamacare. That is unconstitutional.
Okay, what's your
There is
question,
no-
Mary? I mean, what's
I've asked the
okay,
question.
and I'll be happy to answer it. Okay, first of all,
How many laws?
you know, I mean.
How many?
I-
That's my question.
Well,
How
I don't,
many?
you know, I can't
Number.
give you, there have been 15 bills that have been signed into law by President Obama in the 113th Congress this
How-
year.
but
Okay,
how many-
I just answered you, 15 this Congress, okay, but let me just sort of back up a second here, okay? Which is that, you know, I take my oath very seriously. As somebody who was a public defender, I represented people in habeas corpus proceedings. I have been there with individuals where I was literally the only thing standing between that person and the government. And I know the power of the government, okay, in terms of, you know, taking people's freedoms away in profound ways in terms of their property and their own personal liberty, okay? So, you know, I get it, okay, in terms of what,
How many?
but, you know,
Please tell me how many are in
I can get back to you in terms of how many laws have been enacted in the last
How
7
many
years.
are you authorized per the Constitution to, there are only a limited number of powers
Well,
that
you
you
know what,
have.
I would just say this, that, you know, the Supreme Court, which has interpreted things like the Commerce Clause and Article 8 over the years, has, you know, it's a living, breathing document, okay? And well, you and I can disagree on that. I actually think, you know, as a
Then we
law
lose
student.
our republic, Joe.
Well, I don't think so, actually. I'm not as pessimistic as you are. I actually am somebody who is still very bullish on this country. And there are fights that you have to engage in, like the NSA and FISA and the Patriot Act, which I do think where the government was going over the line, and I did not vote with my party on those issues because I take my oath seriously. And there are issues where, you know, frankly, there are gray areas in terms of defining what's constitutional or not constitutional. But the good news is that we have the genius of the founders where you can challenge constitutionality of acts of Congress through the court system, through the judicial branch. And I've been there personally and have actually done that myself, okay? And I think we have still a very vibrant, balanced system. And you don't disagree, you may disagree with that, but again, I'm much more bullish on this country. And I think that gentleman, what he fought for, that the dream and the spirit of this country is still strong.
Agenda 21.
Okay, and
Excuse me, please. This, Congressman Courtney came here to listen to seniors and answer questions about Social Security, and I appreciate the
And how about me?
Yeah,
No, I do.
I answered your
I
question,
do.
Mary, and I
I do.
realize you don't like my answer, but I answered your
I
question.
do, but time's getting short, lunch is coming, and I'd like to have some of the
Be very brief.
seniors.
Yeah, go
I'd like
ahead.
to have some of the seniors ask some questions about Social
First of all,
Security.
Mr. Courtney, just to echo this,